Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, there was some major flooding in Missouri, and you're not going to believe where some of the flooding hit. It hit where they were putting their allegedly all white town. Remember how they made this announcement there was going to be an all white town in the Ozarks? Well, that flooded, y'all. It flooded along with other sundown towns that are around it. So I guess things are just not peachy keen, and their all white town that they were trying to build, yeah, because it got flooded. So y'all, yes, the Most High's judgment is definitely real. It is definitely real. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen so you can get this news that came out of Missouri. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Thank you.
We turn now to the catastrophic flooding emergency back here at home. At least 10 rescued from the water after a building collapsed in Missouri. Dozens of water rescues playing out across multiple states. Drivers stranded in rising water and pulled from their cars. Heavy rain impacting roads and air travel. More than 6,000 flights disrupted during this busy summer season. More than 21 million people at risk of flash flooding. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, a state of emergency in Missouri after life-threatening flash floods swept through the region. First responders performing more than 90 water rescues, many at campsites like this, helping campers and residents stranded in trees by the rising waters. At one campsite in Reynolds County, officials say they rescued a group of at least 10 people that fell into the water when a building collapsed.
I got stuck, as you can see behind me.
Amy Wigard and her cousin Don were camping with a large group of friends and family in Lesterville. When she says before dawn, floodwaters rushed away their 8 campers and 3 other vehicles. Fortunately, everyone in the group accounted for.
We were just in total shock, didn't think this was really happening. We got out of the campers and the water was up past our knees.
Tens of millions of Americans now under the threat of severe weather from Colorado to New Jersey, where police on Thursday rescued this driver from knee-deep floodwaters in Brunswick. In central Georgia, these trees uprooted after winds up to 60 miles per hour tore through the state. And north of the border, this Air Canada jet with 156 passengers on board veering off the taxiway while landing amid a heavy downpour in Montreal Thursday afternoon. Passengers deplaning with the jet still resting on the grass.
And Rachel, all that severe weather still taking a toll on air travel. Nearly 6,000 flights delayed or canceled. LaGuardia Airport here in New York among the hardest hit with 10% of all its flights canceled. Rachel?
Okay, Morgan, thank you. So let's get right to WABC meteorologist Jeff Smith. Jeff, you're tracking that heavy rain and the flooding threats heading into the weekend.
Yeah, we have additional rounds of heavy showers and thunderstorms that will take us right into the weekend, hitting those same areas that were hit so hard during the past couple of days. Southeastern Missouri, all the way to parts of the Ohio Valley, all the way up into western Pennsylvania. Over 21 million people under flood watches into the weekend, 2 to 4 inches of rain over a wide swath. Also watching the possibility of severe storms with gusty winds, parts of Missouri, also portions of the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. The extreme heat and humidity, the other big story over the southeast. Heat index values or feels like temperatures nearly 110 in a place like Charleston, South Carolina into the weekend. And talk about heat. Look at what's going on in the west, a massive heat dome building. And we could be breaking not only daily and monthly records, but maybe all-time record highs in a place like Billings, Montana, 111 for an actual temperature there by Sunday. Rachel?
Oh, yeah, seeing a lot of triple digits out west. Okay, Jeff, thank you.
God damn, dude. Jesus Christ.
Not freak out and start
Why don't you text them and tell them we're on the roof? It's
Hopefully
okay.
It starts receding.
Why don't you text them and tell them we're on the roof? It's
Hopefully
okay.
It starts receding.
An early morning deluge in the Show Me State, turning streets into rivers, campgrounds into waterways, and sending people scrambling for higher ground. No way, going, it was going to hit it from the side there. Campgrounds throughout the state evacuated. This group of campers standing on the roof of vehicles. In Reynolds County, south of St. Louis, emergency responders conducted more than 90 water rescues. The flash flooding posing a danger to first responders, too.
That's scary. Get out. No.
This video appears to show state highway patrol officers abandoning their boat after it struck a submerged power line. Authorities say they're still searching for people after a building collapsed. The number of missing could fluctuate in the coming days. The sudden burst of rain overtaking this dam in Missouri's Black River. An aerial view shows a widespread flooding across the river's banks. The flooding has led to several road closures, and the water is reaching the rooftops of some homes. The National Weather Service has declared flash flooding in multiple states.
The water's just going to keep coming up. You got to come out.
Body cam footage showed the moment rescuers helped a resident escape through a car window as floodwaters continued to rise in New Jersey Thursday. Officials continued to warn residents to seek higher ground immediately. The governor of Missouri declaring a state of emergency and urging residents to stay vigilant. The water is still high, and now we've got a severe weather threat on top of what they've had today. So let's get right to the maps and show you where that is. Flood warning remains in effect for Annapolis because of that high water, over 12 inches of it falling in spots, and water rescues possibly ongoing there with the severe weather threat coming in for the northern part of the state. That watch is in effect until 9 o'clock, and that flood watch stretches all the way through the Ohio River Valley, some of which has been extended into Sunday morning. Tomorrow, the threat for severe weather is in southeast Missouri, through the heartland, Paducah, Louisville, Evansville, damaging winds, large hail, and yes, some flash flooding. Meanwhile, the heat's the real deal. With all this water, another 2 to 5 inches potentially across the Tennessee Valley. Extreme heat warnings continue across the southeast, including Charleston. And look at the Rockies. Extreme heat warnings there with temperatures getting up and over 100 degrees tomorrow, potentially seeing all-time record-breaking highs in places like Billings, potentially as high as 111. That is some major dangerous heat. Major?
Rob Marciano, thank you so much.
Floodwaters are receding across southeast Missouri. The devastation, though, is coming into focus. Some families lost everything to the rising waters. Black Missouri resident Danielle Williams escaped the flooding in Reynolds County with her family, and she joins us now. Danielle, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. So glad to hear that you are safe. How are you doing?
Okay, a bit shaken up, but I'm okay.
So walk us through that day that the flooding all started and when you realized that you needed to get out.
So it was in the middle of the night, so everybody was sleeping. My cousin came at 3:30 in the morning and he's like, we need to leave. It's already past my ankles. The trucks are getting flooded. I woke my husband up and he's like, I've lived here my whole life. It's never gotten this bad. We're fine. So he just started moving things. And within 15 minutes, it was like up to our knees. And I was like, at that moment, I knew we needed to get to safety. We had 4 houses on the property at the time. And my other cousin that lived next door, she came and helped me with my 3 kids get to her house. And then by the time we made it to her house, the water was to our waist. And her house was already flooding at that point. So her husband drove her and her kids up to the highway. And then he swam back down to get me and my 3. He was able to put my 2 oldest in life jackets and then had me and my 2-year-old hold on to him. I ended up having to let go because if I didn't, then my 2 girls would have drowned. I climbed the thorn tree with my 2-year-old and I just waited there for 45 minutes screaming for help because I can't swim, so I didn't know what to do. And they finally made it to me and I fell out of the tree as my little boy. We were just being thrown through debris and about 9 or 10 feet of water. We ended up having to climb trees and use like logs to try to get out of it. And we finally got to the highway to safety. My little boy's head was just bobbing up and down the whole time in the water.
I am so sorry. As a parent, I can't even imagine how frightening that must have been for you and how hard that must have been to just recount that for us. Let's talk about the extent of the damage to your home, because I understand that you're living in a hotel. How bad did the damage get?
It took everything. Everything's gone. It was a total loss. No place there's livable at the moment.
For anyone that's watching and, anything that you could give as a piece of advice for what to prepare for in terms of flash flooding. I know, as you mentioned, it happened so quickly. You woke up in the middle of the night and you just had to rush to save you and your family. Anything that you want them to understand and take away from your situation so that maybe it could help someone else?
Yes, I just want people to understand. I don't care if you've lived on the river your whole life. When there's a flood warning, just please leave because it can get bad so fast and there's no turning back at that point.
Danielle, I imagine that this was very hard to share your story with us, but I appreciate you taking the time to visit us on Weather Command. And I am so glad to hear that you and your family are safe. So hug them tightly and we'll be thinking of you.
Thank you. Can I tell them my Cash App?
That would be amazing. Yeah. If anyone would like to help you out, what is that?
It's D Williams 22419.
Is there anything in particular that you need more so than anything else?
We're just looking for building supplies to try to rebuild.
Okay. Danielle Williams, a Black Missouri resident impacted by the flooding. We'll be thinking of you and wish you the best moving forward.
Thank you so much.
So y'all, they really got it. They really got it bad. It seems like these flash floods are cropping up everywhere. Even when I was talking to y'all last week and I was telling you the street behind me was flooded, we got 3 inches of rain in like an hour. And the street behind me didn't drain so well, so they got flooded. But the good thing, it did not, flood on my street. The drains were working. But these flash floods are everywhere now. I don't think a week goes by where some area is not underwater now. I literally can find these stories every single day. So I guess flash flood is not so rare. It is very much a common occurrence, for real. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude because, it's after 9 and I got to get things ready for tomorrow so I don't want to miss a beat with getting the orders out. So everybody, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And yes, the Most High is definitely fighting for us right now. There's no doubt about it. Shalom, family.